Kawhi wishes he could be like Jokic.
He is also a promotion award for this league. And the fact that over the next 36 hours, that'll probably be the last time we talk about the MVP for the rest of the postseason. And that to me is just one of the things why I was like Embiid and Giannis, I had them a little bit in front of Jokic.
Wait, you just said you had Giannis and Embiid higher because you thought they deserved more attention? More so, they're saying Jokic is not marketable, but also don't want to help him be marketable. Makes sense.
Hey, yo!
Jokic is the most not cared about superstar ever. Remember how I said that old players like to hate on Giannis? At least they hang on him because Jokic ain't even talked about. Nikola Jokic did not get a single vote on who's the best player in the NBA. The survey questioned 15 NBA scouts, coaches, and executives, not players. At least they gave Giannis his credit, but Jokic wasn't even a thought, despite winning consecutive MVPs and being 27 years old. Kawhi doesn't want any attention, and here's Jokic slipping under the radar.
I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
I've addressed this point before, but I didn't stress it enough in my recent Giannis video, so I'm gonna emphasize it now. Xenophobia exists in the NBA, and it's at every level.
To be the face of the NBA, no, not possible for him to be the face of the NBA.
You?
Yes, you can't be the face of the NBA if they can't pronounce your last name. Ooh.
Oh yeah, Jokic is apparently the worst MVP ever, and Chris Paul should have won, for sure.
It's beyond stupid that we frame this as a two-man race. Like, Nikola Jokic is averaging 26.5. Stop. Pick any advanced stats you want. Stop.
Stupid. I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
But Jokic represents something that most players hate. Analytics. Kobe said that he hated the analytics movement in the NBA, and he's not the only one. Charles Barkley, Josh Smith, Kevin Durant, a lot of players in the NBA, former and current, hate the overemphasis on analytics. Heck, even I do. There's a time and place for it, but you also gotta watch the game.
Can you believe that's being calculated?
Chaotic things that we may have ever talked about here on Open Court. There's no computer, there's no MIT geek that can tell me all that stuff.
Man, I think all that stuff is stupid, man.
And there's been one player more than the rest in recent years that has had the stat heads riling in support, and that's Jokic. What is up, dudes, cadets, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. And I've said this before in one of my older videos that I always bring up. Because if we look at the times ESPN, Undisputed, the big media outlets have talked about Jokic or the Nuggets, the views aren't great. If player A draws more views than player B, then the media chooses to focus on player A, causing more attention on player A, and player B becomes less and less popular as a relative result. I think this is interesting because despite Jokic winning MVP, you rarely hear what NBA players think about Jokic. Yes, you have the typical press answers, but when players talk about who's the best, Jokic isn't even mentioned. Just like y'all don't subscribe. That's tough. So if you like the content and want more, please subscribe. Most players begin their primes at 27, meaning the guy who had the most efficient season in NBA history hasn't reached his best game. But no one talks about Nikola's potential. So when asked who the best player will be in 5 years, Jokic doesn't get any consideration. Meanwhile, Giannis is a consensus favorite, despite the fact that Jokic's game might translate more as he gets older and he really hasn't had major injuries. But nah, he doesn't have any potential. Rather, the talk is of Ja Morant or even Trae Young, Jaren Jackson Jr., anyone. And I'm trying to be everywhere. I'm streaming 2K23 on Twitch 30 minutes after this video goes live, so I need y'all to go crazy cause I'm giving away money for every shot I miss. Also, TikTok peeps, be ready. And gaming channel getting content this week. Perimeter play has taken over the league, but this is different than the case with Giannis because Jokic actually plays from everywhere. He's just slow and not athletic. But that doesn't stop him. And while it would be near impossible to only say negative things about Jokic, who is a 2-time MVP, a guy breaking Wilt Chamberlain's triple-double record, efficiency records, the sheer awe for him is not there. Let's look at the Nuggets' run of 3-1 comebacks. A lot of the reactions were more about the disappointment of a LA battle not happening. In fact, there wasn't a single tweet about Jokic or even Murray on their level of play. Yeah, don't acknowledge the guy that just averaged 24.4 points, 13.4 rebounds, 6.6 assists on 51% from the field, 40% from 3, all while also averaging 1.4 blocks.
This is some bullshit!
Goes right at Jokic.
In a 7-game series. Just don't. Last season was the first time since 2006 that the MVP of the league didn't play in any Christmas Day games. That last MVP was Steve Nash, who a lot of players like to compare Jokic to, but when comparing the stats of the competition, Jokic is either on the level or exceeds his competition. Nash, however, was a very specific case, so these two should not be compared. They're just comparing them because they're white and players are mad.
Jokic is great, better than I ever was. I ain't taking nothing from him, dog, but he is not a back-to-back MVP. Just like Steve Nash wasn't a back-to-back MVP.
I am perplexed!
This is where Xenophobia is kicking in, where multiple stars praise CP3 and Booker, but not Giannis in these same finals.
What the hell?
Or how the media can try to make new narratives to stop Jokic from winning MVP. And while I think this factor is completely relevant, I also think that Jokic suffers from the Tim Duncan fundamental syndrome. Jokic can make some amazing mind-bending passes. He's probably the best passer in the NBA right now, but the highlights aren't top 10. They aren't the ones that go viral. He's slow. It's the same way that Tim Duncan sometimes doesn't get the respect he deserves because his game was sort of boring. It's the same way that Jokic doesn't generate that many highlights compared to all these other players. And to make it worse, Jokic was picked in the second round, relatively unknown. Man was literally picked during a Taco Bell ad. So Taco Bell, sponsor me. Players aren't watching Jokic in their spare time. Former players and even current ones. The attention isn't there. If we simply take a look at Google Trends, Jokic is always amongst the bottom of All-Stars. Pretty much, Jokic has every single factor working against him. Whether it's the media, the players, xenophobia, excitement, literally the only thing he's got going for him is analytics. And, oh yeah, he's actually really good. Will this change? I don't know, but I do know that us fans have to put in more work to get Jokic enough respect. Even if you don't think he's the best player, he's shown time and time again that he can have big games in the big moments. He has an impact offensively and defensively. When he has a team around him, the team goes pretty far, and he can carry a team which has no one, and he's just entering his prime. But what do you think? Where does Jokic rank right now? I'm probably on Twitch right now about to be streaming 2K, making Steph Curry, and giving away money for every shot I miss. Gaming channel is primed for next week. It's time. The all-day notification shout goes to my boy, Day One, Armand, who was mad that I didn't include the Raptors as a contending team in the East. Thanks for the all-day support. And if you're still here, you're a real one, so comment 27 so I know. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe, turn noise on if you really like the video. If you like the content, let me know. And like I said, we're trying to be everywhere, making the content you want. It's your boy MJ. We out and we vibe.
Stop in my spaceship, no. Okay, just stop in my spaceship. Okay, just stop in my spaceship, no.